Welcome back to the Mindful Presenter Truth Series. Truth 39. There are 5 big PowerPoint mistakes. If you've been following this Truth Series, you may remember Truth 4. In Truth 4, I said there is nothing wrong with PowerPoint. And I mean it. There's nothing wrong with PowerPoint. It's just the way we use it that is the issue. And at Mindful Presenter, we see many mistakes every single day in our workshops and coaching sessions because we just haven't been taught and shown how to use PowerPoint effectively as a tool that can help us to breathe life and to animate our presentation rather than just sharing information and knowledge. Let me share with you the 5 big ones that we come across every single day. Mistake number 1 is too many people treat PowerPoint as their presentation. PowerPoint becomes the be-all and end-all of their presentation. They think every image, every note, every number, every detail on that slide is their presentation. It's not. And the more we think about PowerPoint as our presentation, the more it becomes all-consuming. And therein lies the danger of us creating what we call death by PowerPoint. Something else that leads to death by PowerPoint is mistake number 2, which is reading our slides. So many highly intelligent, creative, gifted, senior professionals are still reading slides. Please don't do it. It's a mistake. The moment you read any slide to any audience, you're doing a lot of damage. First of all, you're telling them that they cannot read, so you're insulting their intelligence. We talked about that before. But it's just a sea of noise because remember, the moment text is up on your slide, it's an instruction for them to read it anyway. They can't listen to you and read that thing at the same time. Please don't read your slides. I received an interesting inquiry, strange but interesting inquiry just last week from somebody that asked me to help them to master how they read their PowerPoint slides. They're the words they use, not mine. I need you to help me to master how I read my PowerPoint slides. Needless to say, that opened up an interesting conversation. The reason being, they said that they were often intrigued and troubled how some of their colleagues, so many of their colleagues, could read their PowerPoint slides so easily, yet they struggled. They became nervous, tongue-twisted, that kind of stuff. I had to go on to explain to this person that we should never read slides under any circumstances. And just the very thought of mastering the ability to read them is a huge no-go area. 3, big mistake number 3, too much information. Often people just share everything they know. It's kind of like just getting it off their chest. Remember, we operate, most of us, in a world of what I call curse of knowledge. We are experts in our field. That's why we're speaking in the first place. So rather than filtering the data, the information, the insights that we want to share, we give them everything. And there's too much, way too much on a slide. 1 idea per slide. 1. Not 2 or 3 or 5, or in some cases 25, as we often see. Mistake 4, too much animation. Have you seen it? People think that to be creative, to be effective as a presenter, they have to have things whizzing in and whizzing out, and numbers and pound signs and all sorts of things appearing on their PowerPoint slides. No. Ditch the animation. The only animation you need, arguably, on a PowerPoint slide is appear. Just let it appear. Don't try to be fancy with PowerPoint. Not in terms of animation. It doesn't work. In fact, it's quite cringy and annoying. And 5, big mistake number 5 is far too many people sit down when they're presenting PowerPoint slides. I've seen it in huge organizations, senior executives, 10, 15 people sitting around a board table, presenting PowerPoint. When you sit with PowerPoint, you give the PowerPoint the authority. Everything then is about PowerPoint, and it's not, as I said earlier, in mistake 1. The presentation is about you. When you're presenting using PowerPoint, if it's within your gift, if it's humanly possible, stand up. stand up and make the presentation about you, not about this visual aid. Because remember, that's what it's about. Movement is energy. It's visual stimulation. We talked about that in a previous truth as well. This is where it all begins to come together. So PowerPoint can be a blessing. It can be a hugely powerful tool for all of us to help us to connect visually our message to our audience as well, in a colorful, stimulating, rich, and compelling way. But not if we make these 5 big mistakes. Please watch out for them. Thank you.